Welcome to episode 45 of A Fighting Chance. I'm Jared, and of course we have Sal. It's great to be back after a week of eating nothing but Thanksgiving turkey and mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Do you
sleeping?
Do you get down with the tryptophan?
I get down with the tryptophan or trypto whatever.
Is that not is that not how you say it?
I think so. Yeah. I think I just don't know how to say it.
I've actually heard it said differently this week, so I questioned everything I've been saying for 10 years.
Yeah, I remember watching
tryptophan.
Tryptophan.
I don't know.
I remember watching a MythBusters episode where they broke that down.
It's not true, right? Like anything?
No, it's just how much food you're eating that is, it's like the same if you ate a bunch of McDonald's, you'd feel like shit afterwards.
So if I just have a reasonable portion of turkey, I'm good to run an ultra marathon? Essentially. All right. No, I always thought it was a fake thing. Like pretty much, like going out in the cold or the rain, you're going to get your hair's going to get wet. You're going to get a cold. I always thought that was pretty fake too.
Yeah. That's just a mom thing.
But or like swimming in the pool after eating. You have to wait 30 minutes. That's just so the parents don't have to watch you for like a half hour.
Exactly. So they don't want to clean up any barf.
Yeah. Oh, Billy, you just ate cake. You have to sit next to me for another half hour. But
and do nothing.
Dude, do you guys celebrate Thanksgiving down in South Florida?
Yeah. It's probably our favorite of the holidays because we all cook it up and yeah, we had a good time.
What side dishes do you look forward to?
We keep it pretty simple. We just do like 3 or 4. So we did the stuffing. Okay. My dad makes something called arroz con gandules, which is like a Puerto Rican
Sounds like there's rice involved.
Yes, there's rice and pork, and it's great.
Oh, wow.
And the sweet potato casserole with the marshmallows.
Do you like that?
I make it. I'm the one who makes it every year. I'm not a big fan of it, though.
Why do you make it then?
Because they like it.
Damn. That's so kind of you.
I know. I also made an apple pie from scratch.
How was that?
That was pretty banging. Pretty banging.
Do you have that a la mode?
Of course. What am I, a psychopath?
Do you mess around with dude, key lime pie is pretty good. I grew up hating key lime pie.
Yeah, I don't like key lime pie.
All right, well, maybe when you grow up, you'll enjoy it.
Maybe. I want to be like you one day. Grow up and like key lime.
Yeah, I actually, my first bite ever of key lime pie, I was like 8 years old, and I was out at a restaurant, and I threw it up in my water cup.
Nice. That's pretty accurate. Yeah, it's very, I usually like tart things, but that tart specifically, I don't know.
That's a pretty tart.
It is. Maybe when I'm older, I'll like it.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully.
Yeah. You have to have it with like a nice scotch.
Yeah, sure. I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. But, did you, it's so funny because I always forget that there's no fights on Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah.
So for the entire week leading up to Saturday, Emily was talking about having her sister come up for Thanksgiving and being with us. And she's like, yeah, the neighborhood does like a Christmas, like they already light the Christmas tree in the middle of the neighborhood. So we're going to be going to that on Saturday night. And I was like
the Griswolds.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't care. Do whatever. I'm watching Bobby Green. And I just kept
exactly.
I literally kept saying that to her all week. I was like, yeah, do whatever you want. I'm watching fights. Next thing you know, joke's on me because it came to Saturday and I had no plans.
And then Hooker pulled out of the fight on top of that.
Yeah, man. Well, I don't think he pulled out. I think he broke his arm, but
Well, yeah.
The result of that is he's not involved anymore. But I bet you're pretty excited. Jalen Turner, Bobby Green. That's good.
That's a fun matchup. I don't know how he's going to make weight because this is a guy who, with full camps, has missed 55. I don't know how he's going to make it on like essentially a week's notice.
I guess he didn't enjoy Thanksgiving. That's one way.
Probably not. No. But as a big man to be cutting 30-something pounds in a week.
Do you think they'll do a catch weight or they're not thinking about that?
No, it's at 55. They confirmed that it is at 155. I guess maybe if he does miss, it's like, I don't know, because then if he missed and they thought it'd have to be a catch weight anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they're handling that. But I'm sure they're aware that like there's the probability of it happening is higher, but who knows?
It's such a funny sport because it's the only thing on earth where you're just going to get mad at a guy for not being able to cut 35 pounds in 1 week.
Yeah, in a highly unreasonable amount of time.
Yeah, it's like, oh, he's unprofessional. Like,
go try to lose 5 pounds over the next 3 weeks and see how it goes.
But I don't know. I think he'll probably come in at about 158, and I think he could lose.
I don't think I've ever seen Bobby in a matchup with someone this much bigger than him, so I don't know how that's gonna go down. Because Bobby's not a huge lightweight; he's pretty small.
Yeah,
I mean, so I don't know.
Well, my next sentence was going to be, I also think he could win. So,
yeah,
there's always that chance.
I'm rooting for him.
Yeah, I want Jalen to win. I mean, Bobby's. Yeah, I'm rooting for Jalen because losing twice in a row is rough. Losing 3 times in a row is it's just not good for his career. And Bobby's been doing so well. And Bobby doesn't need a bunch of wins to still have a great career. Jalen could really use a big win over Bobby Green. And because I do like Jalen.
Yeah, I think he's very talented. He's just he's made some mistakes in fights that like. It's one of those guys that like they're gonna look back. He's gonna look back at a lot of his fights and be like, "Damn, I could have, capitalized here or pushed the pace here or whatever." But you learn and you come back. So who knows? I mean, he's still like 28, 29. He's still pretty young.
Yeah,
this is a good spot.
I'm so much more excited for the week after.
Song Yadong?
Is that the week after? I have to wait 2 more weeks. I literally don't know the calendar. I have to wait 2 more weeks for Colby Covington.
Oh yeah, you have to wait longer than 2 more weeks.
What date is that?
I don't know, December 16th, which is
that seems a ways away.
It's 2 weeks from now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, 2 and change.
I'm not missing that one. I even took off work for that. That's
nice.
That will be watched. But yeah, this card this weekend is kind of like a pay-per-view card. If you look at at least the main card, it's pretty stacked.
You want to go through it?
Yeah. We got opening it up, Puna. Oh my God.
Soriano?
Puna Soriano versus Dustin Stoltzfus. Good fight.
That's a terrible fight.
Yeah, I just wanted to say good fight out of respect. Then we got the welterweight re-debut of Kelvin Gastelum against Sean Brady. That's interesting. That's very interesting.
Well, who do you have in the first fight?
With Puna?
Yeah.
Puna.
Okay, cool. Just making sure.
Yeah. I'm not a Dustin Stoltzfus believer.
I was until Sean Strickland went on Joe Rogan and just ripped him a new ass.
It's like, what did he do, bro? But if you do look at it, like he got like that fluke win over, I think it was Joe Pyfer that he broke his arm on Contender.
Dude, and then Sean Strickland went on the largest podcast in the entire world and literally was just like, Dustin can't fight, man.
Good guy, but sucks.
Yeah. But so I gotta trust Sean. Gotta trust the champion with this one.
Of course.
But
there's another Sean Brady.
Okay.
Fighting
against Kelvin
at 170.
Well, this was a good move for Kelvin. I think Sean Brady's got it. I think he's got it.
Oof.
No?
I think if Kelvin is gonna look as good as his potential is at 170.
Yeah.
I think Sean Brady's light work. Look at what Bilal Muhammad did to this man on the feet. And then look at what Kelvin did to Izzy and, like all these great strikers. I think he eats up Sean pretty easy. But that's assuming he makes 170, feels good at 170. Maybe he's more chinny, He's relies on toughness a lot, but he's not cutting as much at 85. I don't know. It's an interesting matchup.
I feel like Sean can wrestle him, though, don't you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he is very effective with his wrestling. I don't know how strong Kelvin's gonna look at 70. Like, physically, they're pretty similar. Sean's probably a little more jacked.
There's still part of me that believes that Sean Brady truly froze the night against Bilal Muhammad.
He threw it, you think?
I mean, not intentionally, but I just think that was such an off night for him.
Yeah, like he froze.
I think if you run that back 5 times, it's going to be like 2-3, one of them. It's not going to be Bilal Muhammad smoking him 5 times.
Yeah, I think it was an experience thing. Like, you know, that's a big spot that he was in. First, like, you know, top 5 type of fight for him. And Bilal is a good pressure guy. Like, the pressure was too much. I think Kelvin is a guy that at multiple points should have been champion of the world. And I could see this being the same situation if he doesn't make the right adjustments.
I want to know if you think, how do you think that fight, Sean Brady versus Bilal Muhammad, would have went down in Philly?
I mean,
same story.
Yeah, because I think the wrestling canceled each other out. Like, they both didn't want to even engage in that.
Yeah.
And I don't think Sean's too comfortable with his hands yet.
Yeah, I just don't know how much and you know, the mental goes into so much of fighting and so much of sport in general, but at the same time, I don't know how much I blame Sean Brady if he had like if he fumbled the bag mentally being in Abu Dhabi. I can almost give him a pass because it's like, it's just not realistic situation of like, you know, I mean, of course they fight there once a year, but I mean, 9 times out of 10, they're fighting in the States, like 9 times, like it's just a different situation going over there. And, you know, I mean, Bilal literally has the entire crowd rooting for him. And of course that's only the case in somebody's hometown, like with anything fights.
And I think it looks a little worse than it is just because Bilal's not a guy that's really liked or viewed as like super dangerous as a fighter. But I'm not the biggest fan, but you can't deny that he's on a 8 fight unbeaten streak or something like that. He's got wins over a bunch of top 15 guys. So it's like, it was a very big fight for Sean. That's not
for sure.
It's you can't take too much shame in losing to someone that high up. The fact that he's even in the top 15 is impressive. So
yeah. Before that fight, people were talking about Sean Brady like he was the next champion.
Yeah. I mean, he was undefeated, right? 15-0.
For sure, but his fight before that was against Michael Chiesa. And I mean, if that fight had a few more minutes, I think Sean Brady was going to lose.
Yeah. And usually Michael Chiesa is a good litmus test for, you know, how you fare in the division.
For Kevin Holland.
Yeah, like he made him look easy. That was I feel as much as Kevin looked good that fight, that was, you know, half of a Michael Chiesa.
That was just Chiesa.
Yeah. Just Chiesa. But yes, I'm actually very interested in this Kelvin fight. And then the next fight after that probably is the fight I'm interested in the most.
Really?
My boy Rob Font fighting former 125 champion of the world, Davison Figueiredo, at 35.
I'll be honest, I had no idea that was on this card.
Me neither until maybe 6 hours ago.
Really?
I thought this was next year, but this is this Saturday. And I think Rob's going to beat that ass, bro.
Dude, that's just disrespectful though, isn't it?
Not really, because
not what you're saying. Not what you're saying. It's disrespectful that they're putting the former champion on a non-pay-per-view, isn't that?
No, because he got how many freaking rematches with Brandon? 4? Almost in a row.
For sure.
They're good. He got his pay-per-view points. He got his like.
I don't need him to get pay-per-view points. I just I would want him on like a more highlighted card. Well, actually, I don't know if I would say I would want him because I'm not even like a big fan. I don't even like him.
Not really. He's not heavily liked. He's not like a fan favorite. I mean, he puts on exciting fights, but you know,
he's lucky he got the main card. I agree.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, he's lucky he got a top 5, top 6 matchup. They could have put him with like Umar Nurmagomedov and just killed him off immediately, but they gave him a matchup that is more winnable. Rob's another striker. This will probably, I don't know. I think Figgy got away with a lot at 25 just because of his size. Yeah. You know, he's a big weight bully. But at 35, Rob's real strong. He hits hard. He's got a crazy reach for 35. I think he's just gonna jab him up, and I mean, look at the boxing of Brandon Moreno. Look what it did to Figgy, and then imagine what Rob Font is gonna do to him.
Yep, I agree. Except I'm gonna play a little devil's advocate here. I agree with everything you just said, except for one little flaw.
What?
If Figgy goes out there and wrestles him, Rob Font didn't look so good against Corey Sandhagen's wrestling.
Yeah, but those are different. I think it's different because like you're not expecting Corey to come out and wrestle, so that's more of like they didn't get the game plan for that.
Or like, imagine, he literally can't wrestle.
No, he can wrestle. He can wrestle. Wrestling has saved him in a lot of fights that, you know, he's like, I don't know. I think when you're going into a Corey fight, there's so much to worry about. I think he just really didn't expect wrestling to be something that he had to, because he just looked so unaware of every shot. It was like there's no way that he would have known this is what he was doing. With Figgy, he's a lot smaller. He's not as great with his wrestling. He's got good jiu-jitsu. Rob has good defensive wrestling and jiu-jitsu. I don't know. I think those parts of their game are pretty even. But the striking is where it's going to look there's going to be a big discrepancy. Big word.
I like that word. And I also like Rob Font in this fight.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, and how good of a spot for Rob is this coming off of that, you know, shitty loss? He gets to beat a former champion. Dude,
Rob always gets good fights. Fans like him, and the UFC knows that.
Dude, I would be so happy if he makes the final title run. That would be the best.
I mean, it looked pretty good against Adrian Yannis, but
yeah, like look at that dude was a super prospect. Also, top 3 favorite fighter of mine.
Dude, it's interesting because if it would have went Adrian Yannis and then actually the Song Yadong fight happened, and if he would have beat Song Yadong and then didn't have to get matched up against Corey, we're talking a different situation here.
Or getting like an ample amount of time for Corey. I mean, that was like 2 weeks notice?
Dude, nobody's gonna beat Corey. I mean, you're talking crazy now.
I think it would have looked different. Like it wouldn't have been such a wipeout like it was. Like it was he literally had nothing for him the whole fight, which changes the perception. You know, if it was a close fight, maybe you can put him back in another top spot again. But
where does Patchy Mix fit in all of this?
Dude, he's pretty good. I was taking a look at his resume, and he's kind of finishing everybody.
That's what I was telling David. I was like, dude, Patchy Mix could finish Sean O'Malley. He's like, I don't even know who you're talking about, and nor do I care until he's in the UFC.
All I want to watch is Kayla Harrison fights. That's all I want to
watch. Oh, yes. Well, so I wish that had almost a main event though. Like that could totally headline based off of some of the fights they've been making.
All of these 4 fights could have been a main event. Kelvin and Sean, Rob and Figgy, Jalen and Bobby.
Yeah.
And then we got the actual headliner, Beneil Dariush versus Arman Tsarukyan. I haven't even thought of this.
Think about it. Break it down in real time for me.
Well, off rip, there's an experience advantage for Beneil, obviously. But Arman, has been putting in work. He's been in the UFC for a minute now also. He's fought the champion. He's gotten robbed of some wins, honestly, with Gamrod and stuff like that. And then you look at his last fight, an unranked guy on short notice. He struggled, but you got to remember it's a fight. Like, it's another human being trying to inflict themselves on you. So it's not going to be, a walk in the park.
Yeah.
Especially at 55, everyone's so talented. So like, I think this comes down to how high are you on Arman Tsarukyan versus like what Beneil brings to a fight. Cause we know what he does. He's got crazy scrambles, and he's got a cracker of a left hand. Who knows?
It's truly hard to answer that question until you see it happen.
Yeah. Yeah, this one's 50-50 for me.
Well, who are you going to pick?
I like Beneil, so I'm riding with Beneil just on that little experience. And looking at the grappling exchanges in the Gamrot fight are very telling also. Like the way he was able to scramble could get him out of a lot of situations that Armin gets people in and they can't get out of those positions. So
when you say you like Beneil, you mean as a fighter, as a person, or as both?
As a fighter, I know he's a little controversial with his beliefs and all that, but I just think his skills are pretty badass.
Dude, I like him as a person.
Yeah?
I really do. I listen to Beneil talk and I'm like, this is a family man. And I enjoy that about him. I really do. I have a lot of respect for him. I mean, I don't even know what you mean by controversial because I stay off the social media. No, I'm just kidding. I probably do know what you're talking about. But at the same time, I actually really do think he's a good guy. Like there's nothing about him that puts me off as far as like, I think of him, he's probably a pretty good husband. He's a good father. He makes some pretty good lamb chops from what I've seen in a video before. And I'm down with that.
Yeah, I think he's just that dude who's very like sure of himself. So, he speaks his mind without any second thoughts or anything. And that can come across for some people, as like he's arrogant or whatever. But I mean, the guy can back it up. I mean,
I think he's followed the way for himself. I think he's probably, I think he's a very smart guy. I think he speaks well. He doesn't seem like he's partied his brain cells out or probably hasn't gotten too many knockouts in sparring. He just sounds like a tough dude. He really does.
And he's very resilient. Like, I mean, I remember he got knocked out by, I think it was Ben Saunders.
Yeah.
With the, sorry. I think he knocked out Ben Saunders.
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking of the Edson fight. He got put out cold by Edson. And, at that point you can look at your career, taking a few bad knockout losses, you could be like, all right, I'm never going to make it. But he, went on, I think like an 8-fight win streak, got all the way to fighting Charles Oliveira, the former champion, came up short, but he's shown that he can bounce back from a hard loss.
I mean, he was right about to fight Islam and then comes up short against Charles and is right on, one of my favorite shows, Submission Radio, like 2 days after getting brutally beaten by Charles and in a way that people didn't see was going to happen. And he's always got a good attitude. And so, it's hard to not like the guy and root for him for me.
And it's the same thing we were just talking about with Sean and Bilal. Like, to lose to Charles Oliveira is not a bad thing at all. I mean, he finished the whole top 5, I think, in like under 15 minutes of fight time. So, like, if you got finished by Charles,
see.
Yeah, that's what he did to everybody. So you're not, you got to be pretty exceptional.
Well, heck yeah, we both got Beneil in the main event.
So I'm excited for that card. It's in Austin, which is nice. It's not going to be in the Apex.
So when there isn't a fight during the week, what keeps you occupied, my man?
Nothing. I sit and that song, the "Hello Darkness, My Old Friend," that's all I hear in my head for a week until the next fight comes up. I watch, the Leon knockout, and I'm just sad until it happens again.
I did some light reading over the week.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
What'd you read?
How to Be a Wag.
Wait. That was beautifully done.
I can't get enough of this shit, my friend.
Dude, it's hilarious. And now he's like threatening to sue Sean Strickland for.
He's threatening to sue. They're threatening to sue the MMA guru. They're threatening to sue Sean Strickland. Yeah. We're gonna probably have a lawsuit in a day after this. Next 10 minutes, dude.
Did you read the message that came back at Sean? It doesn't read like he wrote it. It reads like his wife wrote it.
No, it's probably the ex-husband, dude. He lives with them too. What are you talking about?
Mr. Machado?
Yeah, it's Mr. Machado himself.
That's crazy that he took that last name. That's crazy.
Dude, the whole thing it's actually crazy when you think about, I mean, first of all, you and I haven't been a fan of Ian's persona since the beginning. I mean, that's it's old news at this point. And it's just interesting to think about somebody who's tried to come off so arrogant, Conor McGregor like is the whole spiel, and have his entire thing, like the whole behind the scenes, is being run by his wife, who's 14 years older than him, and her ex-husband. So like, and it's like, okay, cool. That he could be totally good with that. That could be exactly what he's all about. Great. But the problem with this is when you come off so unlikable, people are going to just pile up in moments like this. And it's just nothing, like, I can't stop it. Nobody can stop it at this point. It's just got a life of its own.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I'm not a big fan of him, but I feel genuinely kind of bad for, like, that's a shitty situation for this many people to be going at your personal life. Like, I can say whatever I want. I don't like his fighting style. I don't like how he talks about fighting or other fighters. But what's going on at home is what's going on at home. Like, that's not.
Well, okay. I agree.
And it's just shitty. I think he's a talented guy who has unfortunately been, like, misdirected and taken advantage of.
It sounds like he's been misdirected by her, though.
Yeah, like, I mean, she got him. How long have they been together?
23, I think, is when they started.
Yeah, like, that's very young to, I just think he seems like easily influenceable. Obviously, like, look how much he's taken on the persona of Conor.
Yeah.
And like, he's like, I don't know. It's a shitty situation.
Dude, have you checked this book out?
No, I have not, but I saw some excerpts.
Okay. First of all, did you know this was a thing before this week?
A WAG?
Yes.
I hadn't heard of the term, but I know there are women that like pray after athletes.
Okay. But
it happens in the NBA all the time.
Right. But the whole term WAG, first of all, it comes from England. It's like a British tabloid term. And I had never heard of it, but it for sure makes me dislike British people even more so, that they're walking around being like, oh, we've got to WAG chasing the national football team.
Is it an acronym?
Yeah, it's wife and girlfriend.
Wife and girlfriend. Huh.
Yeah, so it's the wife and girlfriends of the football teams. So which has become a career in itself, which is, I mean, let's just call it for what it is. We could rip that apart as much as we want, or we could just be honest and say we're jealous.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, like
we could make fun of her. I'm jealous, dude. It could be
such a nice, home life. He's got his kids. Like, who knows what the hell is going on?
Dude, I mean, they're investing in themselves. It says you got to invest about $50,000 to $60,000 or pounds into yourself on, fitness, nutrition, boob jobs, things of that nature.
Oh, you're talking about her.
Oh, well, no, but that's what the book says.
Oh, okay.
So the book is telling you have to invest in yourself, which I support. I support investing in yourself in life, and I support chasing your dreams, and I support knowing what you want in life and really going for it. And whether that's a 20-year-old athlete or a law degree, I mean, being motivated and driven enough to have a goal and just going for it, who cares? That's my take, man.
I like that take.
Thanks.
I like that take, and I hope people continue to shit on him for things outside of his personal life. Like, I'll go on a rant all day about how I thought he should have finished Neil Magny, and that was a stupid way to finish that fight.
I think
the things he says, and the Jeff Neal mugshot shirt, and all that garbage.
Right.
But what he's doing at home, I don't really care.
No,
it's
no. But I also don't care if there's a 40-year-old woman who wrote a book on how to be a beautiful, attractive woman and attract young athletes who are very focused on becoming a better athlete and want a beautiful, attractive woman who's emotionally in tune with the things that they want. But I will say the detail and how specific this book is, I mean, it's a light read. It's definitely a light read. It's enough to put you to sleep or have you just completely disgusted and know that you have very little faith in humanity.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's okay.
if that's what she wants to do, I mean, whatever, bro. Not my problem.
So
all I care about is, will Vicente Luque beat that ass?
Dude, I'll let you know. There was a channel that I clicked on, and I wish I remembered the channel's name, and it was the name of the video, because there's so many videos that are coming up right now about this. Yeah. The name of the video was Ian Gary writes a response book to her book.
Okay.
And I clicked on this video and I couldn't stop listening and I couldn't stop laughing, because it's literally a full book written from the perspective of Ian of his life.
Wow.
And it is so satire. It's such a parody. It is brutal. It is brutal.
Dude, I think it's 100% safe to say that MMA has the trolliest fans of any sport. Like,
oh yeah,
it's ridiculous how hardcore these trolls are.
I mean, the reason why is because MMA fighters don't make nearly as much as NBA, NFL, even NHL, which is like the lowest paid team sport. And so they don't make as much money. So they have to spend their other hours filming social media content, which makes people want to rip them new assholes.
Well, and it makes these people feel like they know them even more. Like they feel more accessible than a LeBron James would, you know?
But dude, none of these people would do any more social media content than ESPN is showing of them if they didn't have to.
Yeah.
Like they're like, what, they want a popular YouTube channel so later in their career they like, hey, hear me break down fights instead of Sal and Jared. Like,
yeah, I beat Neil Magny once. Listen to me.
But
yeah, it's an interesting universe, the MMA fan.
What happened to your sweet videos you were putting out?
I gotta get back on it. I've been slacking.
How do I get you back on it? Dude, you were getting like 5,000 views on those.
I know. I just got to do them.
You were as you like to say, you were beating that ass.
I'm beating that ass.
No, dude.
Yeah, I could do one on how to be a wag.
I mean, it would get views. Dude, there's clip channels that are clipping other YouTubers of talking about this that are getting like 50, 60,000 views. That's how much people are interested in this right now.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
It is. Yeah. There was also, you saw the Sean Strickland thing with the, he pulled a gun on someone at his house.
No.
It was a guy that, I don't know if I'm getting this wrong, but it was in like a hit and run with a lady. And he came and he tried to hide in Sean's driveway. Like he crashed the car and it hid behind one of Sean's cars, and he saw it on his camera or whatever. And Sean comes out with the gun, and there's video of like Sean just pointing the gun at this dude. And I just said gun too many times to put this on YouTube. I'll bleep it. But
I wouldn't even have known that.
Yeah. The water squirter machine. Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
That is.
Sean Strickland doing citizen arrests.
Hey, leave it to Sean, the people's champion.
The Sean Strickland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll hit another one next week with
for sure
with some Song Yadong.
Yadong.
Is that at the Apex?
Yeah, it was supposed to be in China, but they moved it to the Apex.
Oh, okay, yeah. This is that card.
Last minute. Should be good.
Do you know why? Do you have any idea why they moved it?
They couldn't fill out the card. I guess they couldn't get enough people, or so they had to just move it here. They rescheduled all because they were doing all the road to the UFC fights.
Yeah.
So all those fights got rescheduled,
mm-hmm.
And so they're building a new card on a couple weeks' notice, which should be interesting.
All right. Well, we got a few more weeks wrapping up this year of some solid fights.
Dude, I mean, this is pretty trippy to be entering the same season of a year and be doing this show, that we've made it through another winter.
It is.
And maybe we got to have Slava back on for the Christmas episode.
Dude, you should hit him up.
We should. He just had that pretty banger fight.
Yeah. I mean, he'd remember us. He enjoyed us. I would argue to say we were his favorite podcast he's ever done.
Yeah, we were supposed to get him on a couple months ago. We had some scheduling conflicts. But yeah, stay tuned for all that fun stuff.
Cool, man. Well, please hit the like button, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications, and we appreciate you listening and tuning in to another Fighting Chance.
Peace.